Hi, this is Modulating Music. Today we're going to do another desktop session. We're going to feature this new synth thing that I got. It is called the Nanoloop FM. It is a FM synthesizer, 4 channels, that is based on the old Nanoloop software that is on Game Boy, was originally on Game Boy, and it has been ported to a bunch of other stuff, including phones at this point. Hopefully the LEDs are clear enough to be seen on camera. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to keep everything here. I haven't seen a lot of videos that really cover everything that the Nanoloop can do and really cover it at all as far as like a tutorial style video, but I'm going to try to do my best. I'm not a previous Nanoloop user. I'm actually pretty new to this. I've only had a couple hours with this device. That's why I still have my printed manual. And also the firmware on here is 0.2, I believe. There is a 0.3 out, but I haven't updated to the latest firmware. So there's a bunch of features that are missing, including MIDI integration and song mode, which isn't in this device yet. We'll go over the device really quick. On the back here, you can see there's a couple inputs. I believe one of these is going to be MIDI. Maybe the other one is clock sync or update. I'm not 100% sure. Then you've got your headphone. Get in focus here. You've got your headphone here. It runs on 2 AAA batteries, and the batteries are said to last about 52 hours because it doesn't use a traditional screen. It uses these LEDs, as you can see. Over the top is like your data window. It's when you're editing parameters and stuff. This is going to tell you what you're editing. At the bottom, if I press the Y button there, you can see these are the actual parameters that you can edit. And then there's that's the overall view. You can see the tempo there. You can also shift your patterns and stuff like that. And then if you press X, you go into the saving mode. As of right now, none of my patterns are saved. As I navigate, you can see there's 8 patterns and there's 4 rows here. So these are actually going to be each of the channels for the 4 channels. So you have 8 patterns per channel for 1 bank, and if you press the X button again, that LED lights up, and then I can press A and left and right, and you can navigate through banks. So you can actually save an entire bank which will have 8 patterns per channel. There is no song mode, but you can navigate through this and it will play seamlessly, so you can switch between patterns, mute and unmute stuff, all from this screen. And we'll go back to the sequencer mode here. As you can see, I'm in the first parameter mode here, and according to my little handy dandy guide back here, that's actually going to be your pitch because it has the LED codes. So get back in focus. That's your pitch. If I press right, that is going to be your LFO, and there's 1 LFO per channel. You press right, that's going to be your volume, and that does volume decay. It has like a fake reverb. It does attack. It also can introduce a click on the first channel, and we'll talk about the channels in a second. This next parameter is the FM. That's your FM parameter, and you can adjust the frequency modulation and the type of frequency modulation it's using on that channel. And then the last one parameter is your effects, and your effects is going to do a stutter, which I would equate to a delay. It'll affect the panning of the note or the trig, or the whole channel if you want it to. It'll also affect something called the meta mode, which the meta mode actually makes it where the 16 steps, you can have a trigger that doesn't happen on the first bar. It may happen on the second or the 4th bar. So that way you can adjust the meta mode, which makes it introduces like a less regularity to how often these trigs repeat. Similar to Electron, not quite. You don't have full probability, but you can tell it, hey, I want you to trig on the 2nd bar, I want to trig on the 4th bar, stuff like that. And then we'll talk about the channels now. So I'll read you what the actual manual says for the channels. So the LED in this position, that's channel 1. And it actually looks like a little, you can't really see it, it looks like a little R. I think it's actually called channel R. I'm going to just refer to it as channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, but that is R. And that is the monophonic channel, but it will play an arpeggio if you introduce more than 1 note on a single trig, and you can adjust the length of the arpeggio based on the length of the note or the gate. So it sounds very chiptune-y is the best way I can explain that one. The second channel channel 2, I move down. You press up and down to navigate these. So the second channel is L, and L is a 2-voice channel, and the second interval, when you introduce it, it introduces some detunes, so you can program a second note on a trig. You have two notes, and then if you can introduce some detune in between the 2 notes. The third channel, which is the C, is a chord channel, and the fourth channel is your noise, sample and hold, and it has like a phaser, delay, and it's basically for like percussive elements, hi-hats, snares, that kind of stuff, if you want to do that kind of stuff. So that fourth channel is really a percussive channel. All right, so let's start. I'm going to go back to my handy dandy cheat sheet back here, and I'll be referring to that throughout this because I'm still learning this thing, but I think I've got to handle enough of it to talk about it. So we'll go to the first channel. We're in sequencer mode, and I'm going to press A, and that will put me on the sequencer grid. And on the sequencer grid, you can navigate around the 16 steps, and you can basically put your trigs in there. So I'm in channel 1, and I'm in parameter mode pitch. So what we're going to do is I'm going to press A, and I'm going to go, and I can start navigating through the 16 steps, and hopefully it picks up on the camera where the actual cursor is. But you can see it in person. The cursor is flashing, so the step it's on is brighter. And if I press Y twice, you can see the tempo here. And I can increase it. You can see the number increase. Well, I think we're at 122 right there. All right, so I'm going to press Y once more. We're going to put back into parameter mode. I'm going to press A, and that puts me in the sequencer mode. Now I can introduce a trig. And if you hold down A, and you press left or right, while you're holding down the A button, which is the left button here, you'll actually go up and down. I made the pitch different. You'll go up and down octaves here. And then if you press up and down, you'll adjust the pitch, and you can see it there on the little keyboard, what pitch you're on. So that's a C. Oh, there's the C, actually. That was a D. So the C's at the top. And I'm not... There we go. I'm the second to lowest octave that you can get on there. All right, so I want to make this like a kick. So I'm going to start by going to the volume page, and I'm going to explain each of these things. So if you hold A on this volume page, which is the third parameter, and you press left and right, you're going to increase the decay. If you press up and down, you're going to decrease the volume or increase the volume. That's the amplitude. So there you go. And then if you hold B on this page, and you're going to introduce a click. You can kind of hear it at the beginning there. It's subtle, but you can hear it. And that's only on channel 1 you can get the click. On every other channel, this introduces like a fake reverb, and we'll show that as well. And if you hold B and you press right, you're going to increase the attack, and you can see the little indicator there increasing the attack. But I want a really sharp attack because this is going to be like a kick drum. So now I'm going to press Y, get it to where I can navigate here, left and right. And I'm going to go to the FM page, which is this 2 little dots here. I'm press A, go to my trig here, and I'm going to hold down the A button, and I'm going to change the parameters on that trig for my FM amount. You can increase, I think A up and down increases the FM amount. So the top line is your FM amount. And left and right will increase the FM frequency, which is the bottom. And then if you hold B, you can actually change, you can turn on a filter. This little indicator is your filter. So if you press B and press up, you're going to put a high pass on. So now it's a high pass filter. And if you press left or right, you're going to change it to a different FM mode. So when it has 3 dots, they call it a half sign mode. And you can also introduce a high pass on the half sign mode. And that's how you get some of those like bell-like FM tones. We'll start there. Now I'm going to go to the LFO page, which is the second one, and I'm going to start to turn on this LFO, and we're going to get kind of like a sweeping down for the pitch or the FM. I haven't decided. Let's experiment. So if you hold down A on the LFO mode, and you press up and down, you're going to increase the amount of the LFO. And if you press right and left, you're going to increase the frequency of the LFO. So how quick it is, basically. So I want a pretty fast LFO, maybe halfway. There we go, a little bit of a kick. So this symbol here is going to be the type of LFO, and you can adjust that with the B up and down. So I'm going to hold down the B button, and I'm going to press down, and you can see it's an alternating LFO, up, down. And if you increase the frequency of that, or speed it up, you can introduce like a warble. And then if you go to the other type of LFO, it's a rising envelope. You can hear it kind of whoop, going up, going up. But I want a downward envelope, so I'm going to switch back to the down envelope. And that's actually pitch. This last symbol here is the type of LFO. So it's affecting the pitch right now, but I can also affect the FM if it's the two dots there. You can affect the FM, make it some pretty harsh modes there. But I actually like the pitch for the kick drum, so we're going to switch back to the pitch there. Now I want to lower the pitch of this, actually. It's a little bit high for what I want to do. So I'm going to... There we go. Nice, like deep kick. Okay. The last page is going to be your effects, and we'll go over that in a minute. I don't need to go over them right now. So we're going to put some more trigs on here. And I'm going to go to the navigation mode on the sequencer so you can see me moving around. I'm going to go to my first trig here, and I'm going to press B, which looks like it deletes it, but it actually does a cut. So I'm going to paste. There we go. 4 on the floor. I'm going to introduce another trig here. I'm going to paste a trig there. But you see, it's happening every time. I don't want it to happen every time. I want that to be like every other bar or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to press Y, and we're going to go over to the effects page. And this right here, this little symbol, that's the meta symbol when you're on this 2 dots here. That is your effects, and that's meta. So I'm going to navigate to this last trig, and I'm going to change the meta. And the meta basically makes it where it doesn't repeat every bar. You see it's every other bar right now. There you go. It's every 4 bars. So if you press left and right, it's going to be every 2 bars. And these are alternating. So some stuff will be on the first bar, some stuff will be on the second bar. But if you press up and down, that's every bar when it's all 4 lit. But if you press up, you can navigate. You see how it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the bar that it's actually going to trig. So I put it on the 4th LED, so it's only going to happen on the 4th bar. So now every 4th bar, we're going to get that little trig there, which is kind of cool. Makes it where the 16-step sequencer is a lot more useful. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put some hi-hats. I want to get the percussion going a little bit. So I will press Y, get back to my parameter menu, and I'm going to go down to the 4th channel. We're going to press A, and we're going to go ahead and put some trigs on here. As you can see, this is like a noise source. So it makes it good hi-hats, that kind of stuff. And if here's another trick. If I'm on the parameter and it's highlighted down here, I can actually affect all of the trigs on the sequencer by holding the button instead of just a single trig. And it goes for every parameter page. So I'm not going to use an LFO on this, but I do want to use a stutter effect. So stutter is like the delay We'll introduce it on all the trigs so you can hear what it sounds like. Oh, actually, I'm not on the effect page. There's the effect page. There we go. Now I've introduced it's like a beat repeat. It really isn't a true delay, but it sounds pretty good. Now I'm going to go to each of these, and I'm going to pan them a little bit. You can hopefully hear that. Now I'm going to introduce a couple additional trigs, and I'm going to turn on meta mode for some of these. There we go. And if I go to the volume page, which again is the middle LED, I can increase the delay. Now we got a little bit of a pattern there. Go to the second channel now, and we'll go ahead and put some melodic stuff in here. I'm going to change the note of a couple of these trigs. I'm going to affect the meta of that last trig I just put. And then we're going to also increase the stutter of that trig. I'll go to the FM page and change that trig, make it sound cool. Now I'm going to copy and paste this one. I'm going to change the pitch of that last one I pasted. Now I'm going to go to the volume page, and I'm going to increase some reverb on that one. Now, as I said, this second channel allows you to do like some detune. So I'm going to pick one of these and we'll introduce some detune. You can kind of hear it in that one. You can hear it now when I increase the gate. And then on this trig here, I'm actually going to add a second note. Some stutter on that. All right, we're going to go to the chord channel, which is the third channel now. I'm going to introduce a chord here. We'll go to the pitch parameter on this, and I'm going to hold B, and B's allow me to add a second and third note. So if I press up, you're going to see that I'm going to add a third note. It's an interval. You can hear it now. I put it up a little bit higher. So I'm doing a third interval, but But if I want to do like a fifth, I can do a fifth as well. We'll keep it a third. And then if I press right and left, I'm going to add a third interval to that one. So I'm going to do a seventh. So it's a third and a seventh. We'll put a little bit of pitch LFO on this. Give it a little bit of a warble. Go to the volume page. We'll give it a little bit of faux reverb. Increase the attack on it. Alright, so now we're going to go to the pattern page, and I'm going to show off some of these patterns here. So there's 8 patterns for each of these, and I'm going to go ahead and save them. I need to refer to my little manual here. As you can see, save current channel is A and down. So on channel 1, I'm going to press A down, and now you see it's got a red light. I'm going to do this for all 4 channels. Now I've saved this pattern for each of these channels. I'm going to load the first channel, bank B, which is A and up. It kind of mutes the kick because there's nothing in that pattern. And then I'm going to go down to the third channel, the chord, A and up. I muted it. Now I'm going to go back to B, to the first row here. I'm going to hold down B and press up. And that's actually going to load all of the patterns from that, like, column. So, like, if that's your A set of patterns, I've just now reloaded the entire A set of patterns, if that's what you want to call it. And again, use A and up, and you can load just a single channel. Okay, now I've got nothing in that kick channel right now, so I'm going to go back to the sequencer for the kick, and I'm going to put some arpeggiated stuff here. Actually, I'm going to turn these off. We're going to start with just a single trig. I'm going to introduce intervals. We'll increase the gate, or the decay. We'll go back to this first trig here, go to the volume page, and we're going to add some faux reverb. Oh, we can't do reverb on this channel, I forgot. It's click, because it's channel 1. But we can add stutter to it. Now we're going to go back to our patterns page, and I'm going to save this as an alternate pattern now. So we're going to do A and down. Now I've got it's lit up there, it's saved. But if I go A and up, I can reload the original pattern. And then back to the alternate. Alright, I'm going to make some more alternate patterns here, and we're going to jam out for a few minutes, and probably going to end the video there. If I come across else, anything else cool that I hadn't really covered, I'll discuss what I'm doing. Alright, I loaded this whole bank of patterns using the beat, and I think there is a glitch when you're using the arpeggio mode, as you can kind of hear there. That might be a firmware issue. Save that. pretty good. I think you kind of get the idea here. It sounds pretty good. I really like this thing. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. I love the size. Obviously, it's very small. And there's that glitch I was talking about. So we'll go ahead and turn it off. Here's the size of a soda can. So it's about the same height. Obviously, much thinner. The only thing is, since it's like this acrylic case, it's got a gap here. So if you like try to stick it in your pocket or anything, stuff can get in there on top of like the circuit board. I don't think it would be an issue unless it was like metal shavings or something. But I really like it. You can also order it with different color buttons. I really have a thing for orange, so I order the orange buttons. And I think the Amazon batteries kind of match it pretty well since they're like yellowy orange, whatever. But you can use whatever batteries you want, obviously, and these are just cheap. But really cool. Has a very promising future, I think, with the MIDI integration, the song mode. You could do entire tracks on this thing as is right now. Record them in stereo. With the panning, you can actually record different things in different channels if you use like a stereo splitter, and you could record 2 tracks at once if you wanted to do everything mono. So there's some possibilities there. Also, I don't know about it. I haven't tried it, but I think you could do like a click track out of like the left channel and sync it with like Volcas and that kind of thing. If you panned like your click track, I think all the way to the left, I believe is what the Volcas use, and then pan everything else all the way to the right, and then use a splitter, send your click track into the sync in on a Volca or something, you could probably get this to sync with a Volca pretty easily. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. This has been another desktop session. Comment below if you liked anything here, if you want to see anything else. I've got a lot of other synths and stuff. I do a lot of modular, but I also have some non-modular stuff, obviously. And I guess I'll catch you in the next one.